Good day, everyone. Our lesson for today is all about direct and indirect proof. But before that, don't forget to subscribe and share this video to your classmates and friends, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Also, you can find different subjects in this YouTube channel. Just select the playlist section. And finally, please do not skip the ads in this video. Thanks, and now let's proceed to our main topic for today, which is all about direct and indirect proofs. So proof is an organized set of statements and reason to establish the truth of a specific statement. So pag sabing proof, organized set siya ng statement tsaka ng reason para ma-establish mo yung katotohanan ng isang statement, para mapatunayan mo na it is true. So you need to provide a proof, no? A katibayan, in short. It may be represented in different ways. So, pwede mo siyang isulat into paragraph or pwedeng in a two-column proof. Usually, in geometry, we use a two-column proof to prove a statement. In a two-column proof, logical statements are written on the left sides and its corresponding reasons on the right sides. It is often used as symbols of a different relationships. When we are talking about indirect proof, relies on the contradiction to prove a given conjecture by assuming that conjecture is not true, then running into a contradiction, proving that the conjecture must be true. So, dito sa ating indirect, kumbaga kumukuha ka ng contradiction dun sa sinasabi nung pinapatunayan mo. No? Kumbaga, pag sinabi na i-prove mo na kunyari, i-prove mo na ang triangle ay tatlong sides. So, ang gagawin mo sa indirect is ilalagay mo sa statement mo na ang triangle ay hindi tatlong sides. So, parang ganun. Pero papatunayan mo that in the end, na ito ay totoo. While direct proof assumes that the hypothesis of a conjecture is true and then uses a series of logical deduction to prove that the conclusion of the conjecture is true. To understand these two proofs better, let's have an example. By the way, we need to understand first pala the different properties of equality for us to do proofs. So here are the algebraic properties of equality, wherein A, B, C are real numbers. So we have addition property. If A equals B, then A plus C is equal to B plus C. Subtraction property, if A equals B, then A minus C is equal to B minus C. Multiplication property, if A is equal to B, parang kulang siya, then A times C is equal to B times C. Division property, if A is equal to B such that C is not equal to 0, therefore A divides B is equal to B divides C. For reflexive property, A is equal to A. Then symmetric property, if A is equal to B, then B is equal to A. So they are just the same. For transitive property, we have A equals B and B is equal to C, therefore A is equal to C. So these are the sum of the algebraic properties of equality. Another, we have substitution property. We have if A is equal to B, then A can be substituted by for B in any equation or expression kasi nga equal sila. So pwedeng i-substitute in lieu of A si B. Sa distributive property naman, A quantity B plus C is equal to A times B and A times C. So for you to be able to understand, let's have some examples of direct proof. Given M is the midpoint of AB. So yung M daw, midpoint siya ng line segment AB. Prove that AM is congruent to BM. So actually, it's true na siya ay congruent because M is the midpoint of what do you call this? Of this line segment AB, right? AB is a line segment, M is the midpoint, and pag sabing midpoint, gitna siya. And from the definition of midpoint, di ba? Magkakaroon siya ng two equal lines. So given that point M is the midpoint of the line segment AB, by the definition of midpoint, the measurement of AM and BM are equal. Since AM is congruent to BM, then by definition of congruent segments, we can say that line segment AM is congruent to line segment BM, or AM line segment is congruent to the line segment BM. So, ganun lang siya kadali kasi there is a definition that tells that midpoint creates two line segments that are equal in size. Now, for the two-column proof, statements and reasons, the given is M is the midpoint of the line segment AB. That's given. AM is what they call this is congruent to BM. That's the definition of midpoint, right? That I told you a while ago. AM is congruent to BM. That's the definition of congruent segment. Kumbaga, sa ano kasi sa two-column proof, papatunayan mo lang talaga siya na siya ang midpoint. Kasi ang given natin is M is the midpoint of AB. Papatunayan mo lang talaga na yung AM is congruent siya dun sa BM. Na usually, definition of congruent, ano yan, segment, di ba? But on the other hand, we need to prove also that midpoint creates a congruent segments. So, kaya naglagay tayo dito na AM is congruent to BM and AM is congruent to BM, which are the definition of midpoint at the same time definition of congruent segments. So, napatunayan natin that M is a midpoint of the line segment AB that creates congruency of the two segments. Now, next, let's have an example of indirect proof. Given that, eto naman, M is not the midpoint. So, parang inenegate mo siya. No? M is not the midpoint of AB. Therefore, AM is not equal to MB. M is not the midpoint of AB, or the line segment AB. That's given. AM is equal to MB. Okay? So, assumption natin yon. M is the midpoint of AB. That's the definition of midpoint. AM is not equal to MB. Contradiction to is in statement 1 and 2. Gaya ko nang sabi ko kanina, sa definition ng indirect proof, kailangan natin magkaroon ng contradiction na kung saan papakita natin na totoo yung contradiction natin. Okay? So, una, ginawa natin siyang false. Ito yan. AM is equal to MB, wherein yung given natin, AM is not equal to MB. So, parang nag-negate tayo. Nag-negate. But in the end, pinakita natin na may contradiction siya doon sa sinasabi ng number 1 at saka number 3. So, may contradiction dalawa. Dahil sinasabi sa number 1, M is not the midpoint of AB, while sa number 3, M is the midpoint of AB. So, may contradiction yung dalawang statement. Ayon. For the statement AM is not equal to MB. Okay? So, matotal, pinakamadaling gawin is yung direct proof. Okay? Na kung saan, kung ano ang sinasabi lang ng given ng ipoprove mo, yun lang yung gagawin mo o yun lang yung papatunayan mo. Hindi mo na kailangang mag-negate ng mga statements. So, that's all about the lesson of direct and indirect proofs. With that, thank you very much for listening.